It's Friday. Welcome to Five Things Friday with myself and the wonderful Simone Oloman. Hello, Simone. How are you? I'm clapping first.
I was just having a little boogie to the music. It's just impossible not to dance to it.
I think I told you it's a guy in LA who today I was to celebrate getting 90,000 views on YouTube. I went back to find this track that he made, and I didn't realize he's put all of these like welcome to the retail podcast voiceovers, which I thought was like cracked me up. But anyway, as always, be respectful to the listeners. But the wonderful news to share with you, if you've seen LinkedIn, you already know, but 90,000 views. And my ambition is to build the community, to share the love to 100,000 views, which is more than Wembley Stadium by Christmas. So if you're listening to this, just share it with a loved one. I'm sure your mum wants to know what's going on, or your dad, what's going on in retail. Just hit that share button, send it to your family, and let's get to 100,000 views. But anyway, on that bombshell, we're going to start with you with a personal problem or something that you've been speaking about.
About influencers. And there has really been question about my experience with influencers. And, I was just very honest. I said, there's been times, quite a few times, where we've maybe been working with an influencer. She has 1 million followers or 2 million. I've got very excited. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to have so many sales off this. Following increase is going to shoot up, and it's been an anticlimax, and we've literally gained like 2 followers and no conversions. And I've been like, wow. But then the good experiences that I've had with, I'm going to do quotations here, influencers, tends to be the real people. It might be somebody in particular, she's founded a mum's community. She's not necessarily an influencer, but her following is so engaged and her content is so real. And I think it's about really trying to find, has worked for us personally at NIFT, is really trying to find those relatable, real people who really community-led. And this reminded me of this because I saw a post that came across this week on the business of fashion, and it just reminded me of it, as it said about how college athletes, university, because it's America, the most influential voices on campus, we're now seeing brands go really hard into this kind of college campuses, not just through like traditional discounts for students, but through real on-campus activations, dorm makeovers, concerts, exclusive pop-ups. Hollister did this recently. They just launched a multi-year partnership with the University of Texas. They're sponsoring home games and they're working directly with student athletes as well. And I just think what's interesting is that students aren't just the audience anymore. They're turning them into the creators, and they're producing content that's clearly highly trusted by their peers, and that gets way more engagement than just a polished ad campaign that they probably would have spent hundreds of thousands on. And yeah, I just think brands that are tapping into that are really smart. I really do. And I think this whole movement I just think it says something deeper. It really kind of signals that the next wave of retail influence isn't just about celebrities or full-time influencers. It's about community-first creators and people whose voices relatable and real.
Yeah, and actually, it's like there is a niche, and it's called fashion, but then there's a sub niche called, I don't know, working mums who still want to be fabulously fashionable.
Yeah.
Or what does that look like? And 100%, that's a big thing, and it's interesting how that comes to life, not only for you but for the major brands out there, right? And then how do they find it? I think that's the other thing. Okay, cool, fantastic. So moving on to me, and I'm going to do 3 altogether, starting with the product. So just quickly, UK commentary, and we're staying away from this. Everything, all the metrics, really down, really negative. Spends down, footfalls down. It's just we're going to stay with that. We're going to stay positive, and we're going to keep going. And this week you can see that the UK, maybe London, but the retail story is around 3 stages. the gallery, the grocery, and the aisle, and the digital shop front, each quietly rewriting how you and I buy and what that looks like. And the interesting thing, and what you're looking at here, is London for a cinema for Prada. And so the Prada Mode at Town Hall in King's Cross is, for 2 days, it's running as a private members club before opening to the public. And it's a centerpiece called The Audience by Elm Green and Dragset. It's an intentionally blurred film on a perpetual loop, a painter and a writer talking in a flat screen inside a purpose-built cinema where 5 seats are taken up by hyper-real sculptures of viewers frozen in mid-attention nearby. The conversation shows a lone woman at a cafe table FaceTiming one of the film's characters. It's part installation, part hall of mirrors, and we're watching the work or watching ourselves watch the work. They've got everything from screening, performances, and DJ sets to build out the theme of spectatorship, which was another wonderful thing that I heard, that you got to take your customers away from being just consumers to being an audience. So if they're an audience, how are you going to interact with them? What does that look like as an audience? And so that goes back into the hospitality mindset in retail. And, obviously this is their experimental element of that, which is bringing a sort of endless elements of feeds into what that culture, and as I was just saying, hospitality and ideas. And ultimately it's Prada staging a temporary institution to win time, not transactions, which I think Gentle Monster, there's loads of like global brands that are doing a phenomenal job. And it's nice and interesting to see that Prada's doing that. And it's open now, as I think, as you can see. Next, moving on, we have Morrisons. Prada, Morrisons, fit in the same thing. But it's the same tempo. Morrisons is now going to 1 hour delivery called Morrisons Now. It's for all of those elements that, you've forgotten the coriander, you need to get the surprise guest, late night cravings. Whatever the element is, it's live in 158 stores, targeting expansion to 420 by the end of October. And it's a really simple thing that they're doing, 30 items, 15 pounds minimum, fee of 4.5, I was going to say euros, 4.5 pounds. And you get everything that you are used to seeing: real-time tracking, fulfillment by courier, bike, or car. And it plugs directly into the Morrisons account. So all of your favorites are saved, and you can just, if you're lacking something, I can imagine parents who in that midnight dash for something, or party goers. It goes across the whole things. It basically puts pressure on rapid grocery. And, I interviewed a couple of them, Glovo and Deliveroo. Thank you very much. Glovo and Deliveroo. So this is a grocer sort of trying to, again, take control of its own delivery and experience with the customers. So quite interesting to see. And if Prada, is selling time to linger, Morrisons is trying to sort of take that and give you back more time to spend on whatever you want. Staying with tech, and I actually came across this story because I was covering Walmart's new platform that's basically, not only is it on ChatGPT now, but they have this whole new experience that's enabled by, how do you say Mirakl? Okay. I think they're a French company and they're doing phenomenally well, but this lends itself wonderfully to what Simone and I have been talking about over time, about how John Lewis wants to be a house of brands. Russell and Bromley have joined these brands. I know Russell and Bromley. I may not know Vera, but I know Russell and Bromley. Via a curated supplier model, which again has been brought to life by Mirakl, which ultimately means all of these high-end brands have a better experience online, and your premium choice and premium shoppers. And for me, it's interesting to watch whether or not John Lewis can make this shift from like the everyday, like the universal, to going up that next level. So it's one to watch. It's going to be across 20 stores, and they're also doing a rapid delivery with Uber Eats for the marketplace. And a collaboration is coming with Labrum, again, expanding this house of brands. Finishing with you, Simone.
Yes, finishing on a positive. One thing I guess I didn't see coming is that Ted Baker have just revealed its first ever activewear collection, which they're going to be rolling out across autumn. It covers everything from yoga and tennis to gym training, and it's both for men and for women. I was very intrigued about the price point. It seems to be ranging from £35, and then that top end is real top end is at £250. But I thought it's quite a shift for the brand. I also think a smart moves as well. Obviously they've been traditionally known for occasion wear and tailoring and that sort of British polished prep vibe. But activewear, I think, is where the customer is, and it shows that they're trying to, I guess, reposition themselves for how people are actually dressed now. You know, it's a bit more hybrid and relaxed, and a lot more. We've chatted about this before. I guess a bit more like health conscious. They are going to be returning to the high street as well. I know it's been 2 years since they shut all of its stores after the collapse of them, but they are going to be opening a new store in early 2026. So it feels like a soft re-entry with activewear.
I'm curious, are you seeing that from in terms of what because obviously you work with a lot of retailers. Is that a trend? Are we right? Are people coming away from athleisure and coming to more purposeful community like activities as opposed to just I'm going to be loungewear?
I think we have seen that shift, but then we've also seen the shift of the activewear brands like branching out, like Tala, for example. So, I mean, I don't know whether it's since COVID, but I do feel like people less and less buying like going out wear and party wear, and really, I think looking for pieces that are more versatile, that maybe they can wear from desk to dinner or desk to pub.
Yeah,
I think you've really seen that shift. So I think naturally we have just seen a bit of a decline in occasion wear and more party wear. Obviously people do still buy it, but I think I myself don't buy it as much. I dress more casually now, and again I'm more and more bothered about quality pieces and really making sure that something's versatile, not just something that I'm going to wear one off to a party. And I think that plays a really big role in it as well.
Yeah, the circularity of it. Okay, well, Simone, thank you so much. Until next week. Have a lovely week.
Free.